besides game one, it was really your pitchers that turned into some really impressive performances. Leah and Alyssa both going 6+ innings. Um, with that being kind of the main struggle you guys have seen this season, how much of a bright spot is that to see efforts like that?
Yeah, well, it's incredible. They're very capable, and that's what we've been looking for all season. So excited that it happened when it did, and just need to continue it down the stretch. These next, couple weeks are very important. So if they can keep performing at that high level, we're going to have a chance to be in every game and be successful.
And was there something that kind of just clicked that they kind of figured out in the circle, or was it just kind of right time, right spot, right line?
Yeah. They keep putting in the work, and I think that's the biggest thing, and proud of them for that they haven't got discouraged. They just keep coming back, and, to see Leah just compete. We also made a lot of good defensive plays, which we haven't necessarily done in the past. So had a couple of double plays in that inning. So the less pitches they have to throw, the better, which I think keeps them in it. And then Snipes, we had a conversation last week, and so I feel like that definitely contributed to her, outcome on the other side, and definitely need to see more of that from her. It's in her, and she knows that, and so just continuing to draw it out of her as we go down the stretch here.
And what kind of frustrations, if any, does it bring in, just in general, to get performances like that in the circle, and then not necessarily get the run support that you've seen all season long, where it's either one side or the other? What kind of frustrations does that bring?
Yeah, it's tough. I didn't necessarily anticipate that that's how that would play out. I don't think the team did either. We still had a chance, even in that 1-0 game. We ran ourselves out of that inning in the seventh. That goes a different way. It's a different outcome on the other side as well. So, but we got to make adjustments earlier. Our offense, I think that they took it upon themselves. Like, they knew that they needed to be better in that and find different ways to, compete in the box. And I talked to them after, and it's like, we can't be getting out the same way every time. Like, do something different, get out a different way, choose a different pitch, like attack something other than what we keep doing the same thing. So, growing opportunity, and it's nice that we got to see her twice, and we'll see her, down the stretch in the conference tournament.
And what does that third game kind of say about this team in general? I mean, really pushing that 1-0 close loss aside,
Sure.
within a matter of minutes,
Yeah.
and then flipping the script, and not only pitching a shutout, but putting up an impressive amount of runs. What does that kind of say about this team, that it happened so quick?
Yeah, it's tough, but we talk about that all the time. It's about how you respond, how quick you can get knocked down and get back up again. So that was my message to them, and and they did a good job of it. They let it go, and I think that is the one thing that is great about the culture that we've built here. It's that you go down, but that's not how you have to finish. You get the chance to come and fight back and finish how you want to finish, and so they did a great job of that in the third game.
And a very cool milestone on Saturday, 700 program wins. Just talk about what kind of achievement that is for this program.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, this place has laid the foundation, and my teams here are just a small part of that. So just excited to continue to build it forward, and thankful for all the people that came before, and that we wouldn't be here without them. So it's more of a celebration about what's been done in the past than what's being done in the present.
And now coming back to this upcoming weekend, Utah Valley, you're back at home. You guys are just 2 games out of the 4th spot in conference play, so we've talked about how close conference is going to be all year. How key is this kind of series, especially with half of WAC play already finished?
Yeah, it's a big swing. So it's very important. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. Utah Valley's a good team. They obviously took 2 of 3 from UTA this weekend, almost had the third game in there. So they definitely have what it takes, and it's going to take us, like I said, having that performance on the mound, and then offensively putting up runs against them as well. So the great thing is that we're home against them, so definitely need to do our job here at home and take care of business.
What's it going to take for all 3 of those aspects on the field to come together, in the circle, on defense, and in the box?
Yeah, preparation. Preparation breeds confidence, and confidence is what leads you to success. So just putting in the work this week, getting their minds right about what's ahead, and knowing that every game, every pitch matters. And I think that they continue to learn that week in and week out. And I know that's not just building for this year, but building, like I said, into the culture that we want to create here going forward.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I didn't